rebuildingtheman.com/events. I was just telling the ladies off air that there is a women's forum, ladies. Is that obnoxious on the audio feed? It is Monday, December 12th, 2022 AD. And that means that we're going to have a fun loosey-goosey Monday show, guys. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Let me check the audio here. Indeed. Nice. Oh, my gosh. We have stuff to cover. No clip 11, guys. No clips today. But we will have a sad story of a man who died. Is it sad? Rest in peace, Grant Wahl. LeBron's reporter acquaintance. He's the rainbow t-shirt wearing guy. And Janet Yellen finally gets her signature on the U.S. banknotes, also known as $1 and $5 bills, and perhaps other bills. What a mess. Women taking over the money, and women are taking over Peru. And I heard Peru is the true Peruvians are not happy. They're not. They're pretending that they ousted a guy for corruption, and maybe he was corrupt, I don't know, but seemed to be replacing it with something worse. So that, did you hear about the liberal Sherpa? The liberal Sherpa died. Her soul is dead. Her brain is gone. The liberal Sherpa turned on her mother. I'm laughing. I'm laughing with her, not at her. I do not feel sorry for her poor, innocent victim mom, whom she allegedly is accused of defrauding and kidnapping and other stuff. Kathy Aru, former guest on the Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson. And there is a new liberal reina, that means queen, Latinx queen, who's upset over Kirsten Sinema turning independent. So I'll tell you all about those things, hopefully. And Based Indonesia, which I've covered on Hake News last week, I think. But Based Indonesia says, stop having sex out of wedlock. Isn't that great? Oh, my goodness. So, and there's some other disgusting pictures that I have to show you. 2 Saturdays ago, Saturday Night Live is on Saturday, right? SNL is on Saturday. I assume. I don't watch. I've never watched it. This disgusting woman showed off her pregnant belly. Ugh. Talk about an egotistical mother. All that and your calls if you would like to call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, I have to ask JLP a question. I cracked a question when I get a chance someday. Because he seems to turn down the earphones. Because his ears can't be this way better than mine, can they? I always feel like my earphones are quiet. So I have a feeling that he's turning them down for me. But I'm not sure. But maybe his ears are better than mine. Maybe I need to clean out the wax. I did put hydrogen peroxide relatively recently during my months out. By the way, I'm wearing a t-shirt, a lion t-shirt. American Indian lion with a headdress. A masculine headdress that the Indian chiefs wore and sometimes wear to this day. Doesn't look right nowadays, but back in the day, looked so awesome. Tiger, yeah, not lion. Hassan. Hassan knows his animals. Hake doesn't know anything. Look at that. Look at that beautiful tiger face. See that? It's a Volcom. People pronounce it Volcom, but I like it. I read it Volcom. T-shirt. Is that devilish? Not very Christian? It's a tiger. It's tiger. Everybody's correcting me in the chat. What a mess. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing. I like the color. I saw it at Goodwill one year, way back before I moved out here in LA. And I bought it because I like, I like the fit, the color. Volcom. So, let us get right into this story of this man who died, shall we? And you can call in, by the way, guys. Oh, before I get to that story, did you catch Hake at the beach? A lot of you guys seem to have some weird thing about, I'm not even going to get into that. But yeah, I was at the beach on Saturday, and I streamed out another beach half hour. So go check it out if you missed it. What a mess. So it's a skate company. Says it's a skate company. Hake says Emperor of Cats about Volcom. I thought it was a spaceship company. Let's get to this story now. Okay, without further ado, rest in peace to this reporter, Grant Wahl, W-A-H-L, a so-called American reporter, died. I almost said killed. I don't know what killed him. They don't even really get into it at all. They just have all these tributes to him. He was famous because he made the news relatively recently for wearing this rainbow t-shirt, a rainbow circle, which is not even realistic, around a soccer ball on his t-shirt. Print, radical LGBTQIA plus agenda t-shirt. That's what it was. It wasn't just an old style thing that happened to have a rainbow motif on it that was innocent, apparently, according to the news. It was in solidarity with the so-called LGBTQIA plus mess, or IQ mess. Now they call it IQ sometimes. LGBTIQ. Do you have LGBTIQ, or do you have high IQ? I don't know. Anyway, I hear that they say that the LGBTIQ people have higher IQ on average. So you don't necessarily want to have high IQ. It's not uniformly a positive thing, I hear. At least it's not everything. But look at the pictures of this guy, man. I mean, fellows and fellas. That's for women. Look at, no video footage of him. But he was that bald, shaved head, I assume. White man, 49 years old. Oh, he looks a little skinnier there. With a strap around him. Wearing like a satchel or something, I assume. Reporter guy. There he is. What does it say? What does that say about him? Let me check it out. This guy was in, people call it Qatar, but it's Qatar. Grant Wahl made the news twice. One for something bad and another for something worse. I'll leave it to you to decide which is worse. He was acquaintances, apparently, with this guy, this tennis player here on the right of the screen if you're looking at the video feed. I almost said Grant Hill. Sorry, Grant Hill. This tennis player. LeBron James. He collapsed at the Qatar World Cup. Qatar. You're supposed to choke on it. Qatar. I'm butchering the name of your country, Qatari people, but I'm doing my best. American journalist Grant Wahl dies after collapsing at the Qatari World Cup soccer tournament. An outpouring of shock and grief went across the sports world. He was 49 years old, collapsed, quote unquote, while covering Friday's Argentina-Netherlands match, a witness told Commie Nonsense Network. And I joked, and this might maybe a bad joke, did he collapse over the roof, off of the roof? Because, you know, if he is in favor of that radical homosexual stuff, I don't know what he was into, if indeed he is dead. You know, there's this meme about the Muslims. I don't want to get into that because we do not celebrate violence, and children listen, and it's not a good thing. But it was a joke. It might have been a bad joke. Sorry, everybody. Qatar's World Cup organizers, like, he might have been punished for being a homosexual offender, as those Muslims call it. I, of course, disavow. Qatar's World Cup organizers said Saturday Wahl fell ill in the press area. Look how he's like, each successive photograph of this man makes him look sicklier and sicklier. With the head-on image, he looked like a, you know, like a man with vitality. But look, I don't want to say it, but he doesn't look well, always. Some places he looks healthier than others. He received immediate medical treatment on site. I bet he did. He then transferred to Hamad General Hospital, said a spokesman. They call it spokesperson. Yeah, right, spokesman. For the Supreme Court Committee for Delivery and Legacy, the body responsible for planning the tournament. 49 years old. Looked a little nerdy on his computer. No offense, we love the nerds. U.S. State Department spokesman, call him spokesperson. This is from Commie Nonsense. Ned Price said the department was in close communication with Wahl's family. Oh, he had family. He had a family? Maybe, I don't know if he was, anyway. The World Cup organizers also said that they were in touch with the U.S. Embassy to ensure the process of repatriating the body in accordance with the family's wishes. Covered soccer more than 2 decades, 11 World Cups, 6 men's. How do these people make money? I guess these big companies, because what value do they provide? Or what value do most of us provide, huh? It seems like most of us work lame jobs it's hard to see where the value comes from. And then therefore, when the economy collapses, everybody's up the creek. He was married, says Big Bump. Wow. Like real married? Wahl had covered soccer for more than 2 decades, 11 World Cups, 6 men's, 5 women's. Authored several books on the sport. According to he had a website. Wow. There were co-editors in chief of Sports Illustrated for whom he worked the majority of his career, said they were shocked and devastated. Oh, so this guy was like well-liked. At times he looks sensible, but not with that rainbow. Not God's rainbow. It's not God's rainbow. We were proud to call him a colleague, said the Sports Illustrated people. Sports Illustrated. No writer in the history of Sports Illustrated has been more passionate about the sport he loved and the stories he wanted to tell. And I think he covered tennis or basketball, whatever. Basketball star LeBron James said he'd been very fond of Grant.
LeBron James.
Shout out to the little Southern black kid. On Friday in Philadelphia, he remarried to a top. Big Bump is telling me the truth about this guy. They hardly even mention anything about him. He remarried to a Tamil Indian. Like India Indian? Is that what that means? So he was just an ally to the LGBTIQ plus fake community. He was not part of that necessarily, I don't think. Oh, LeBron James. Yeah, he spoke on it. And there was another black famous looking black athlete sitting next to LeBron James. I saw the clip. I don't have the clip for you. It's not that good. It's not that entertaining. And normally, we love blacks. We do. I mean, we always love blacks, right? But this clip was not entertaining. But he's all, rest in peace. I'm thinking of his family, something to that effect. He said, quote, LeBron James, I've always kind of watched from a distance, even when I moved up the ranks and became a professional, and he went to a different sport. So apparently he was, okay. Apparently he was covering basketball when this guy was a teenager. Anytime his name would come up, I'll always think back to me as a teenager and having Grant in our building. That's why I thought of Grant Wahl. It's a tragic loss. But he also said something like, may he rest in paradise. LeBron, if this victim were black, victim of some health issue that collapsed and killed him, if he were black, you'd be rest in power. We say, I'm joking, but we say rest in power, LeBron James, mister. We say rest in power. So anyway, I had thought that maybe the Qatari Muslims had taken him out, but we do not slander the Qatari Muslims. And I don't think that that's the case. Some people were speculating in the chat that he had some medical treatment that is being pushed, that has been pushed for the past couple of years, roughly, on the people. And he may have gotten like a booster shot or something, who knows? But he looked relatively healthy, sometimes a little sickly, like a little too skinny and bald. But in general, he looked like he should have been fine. Yeah, I know, like wearing a radical homosexual t-shirt in a Muslim country that was not in favor of that type of immorality. Not wise. But anyway, so rest in peace to that guy. Have I spent too long on him? Let me get to another story for you guys. This is even worse, in a sense, because it affects everybody. Janet Yellen. I'm shaking my head. I have pictures of this woman. I saw this on Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, on Sunday. I saw this in Photos of the Week from December 1st through 9th, 2022, from CNN. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Look at this. Holds the hands. If you're looking at the photograph, they're in like a warehouse thing, a fancy-dancy warehouse. These two, maybe boomer, maybe a little bit older, maybe Gen X ladies, and I use the term perhaps loosely, holding their hands because they're celebrating their signatures being on the money. Ooh, yay. Men just do this, and it's just normal. It's no big deal. It's Tuesday or Monday or whatever. Just another day. No ego about it. But maybe the males do have an ego about it, but they're not as ridiculous as this. Look at these. They're holding each other. Imagine if two men were doing this, holding hands like this. Because they got the unveiling of the first U.S. banknotes printed with two women's signatures. Look at all that money. It's all printed beautiful there. And then they pollute the photograph with these two ladies. Sorry, ladies. Are they mildly attractive? I mean, Janet Yellen, her hair's kind of cool. Janet Yellen's, the white hair, short white. Is that a bob cut, ladies? Purple thing. Not that fit, but, she's an older lady. Anyway, but the spirit of what's happening, that's not good. That was last Thursday in Fort Worth, Texas. How far Fort Worth has fallen. It's a horrific photo. And Bad sign of the times, by the way. Yellen sees her signature printed on U.S. bills for the first time in the United States. Look at them. They're signing the stuff. They're signing the money. That makes it official now, guys. Terrible. Ridiculous. And she even appeared at some point on the Colbert Show. Look at that $5 bill with the Janet Yellen thing on it. It's a little signature right there below the thing that says one. It's to the right of the photograph of that president. Was he the best or was he the worst? Was he a good president or bad president? The man on the late Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, on the $5 bill. Look at that. There's Janet L. Yellen. What a name. I don't think she's even a Christian, guys. This woman. Yellen honored the contributions of women at the Treasury Department and in the economics profession more broadly, touting 62% female workforce in her department. Sick. As an important signal of progress in a once male-dominated field. I hope that today is a reminder of the road we've traveled on equity and inclusion. A grown adult, old lady who should know better. That's not Christian talk. Equity and inclusion. And I hope it motivates us to continue to move forward, she said. She calls that forward. Yellen spoke of the broader efforts of engraving and printing federal employees, whatever that means. The currency that you produce here touches just about everyone in the United States and millions more across the world. Our currency is essential to the functioning of the financial system. People say that it's functioning more and more dysfunctional, some people say. Even though we're rich, it's like a, quote-unquote rich, it's like a big bubble of fake money. Its integrity is core to our national security, has less integrity seemingly than perhaps ever, you know? Currency, Yellen said, plays a critical role in our economy, but also has a deeper purpose because everybody touches it every day, except they're trying to do away with paper money, huh? Cashless society. She said in remarks after her tour that she was truly honored by the banknotes. Honored. America's being dishonored, which will be delivered to the Federal Reserve this month and begin to circulate to Americans' wallets starting in the new year. Will you participate in the Yellen-signed money thing? And what's this other lady's name? Malerba. Lynn Malerba. Yikes. Yellen became the latest U.S. Treasury Secretary to sign the U.S. currency and the first woman Treasury Secretary to have her signature on a U.S. banknote. U.S. Treasurer Lynn Malerba. These ladies were appointed by Sleepy Joe, allegedly, right? I think. Marked the first time the signatures of two women were featured on U.S. currency and the first time a Native American signature. Is that what Malerba is? American Indian? I'm Native American. If you were born here from American stock, generations of Americans. I even have one lady who, in my family, extended family, who came from the Mayflower or something like that. I don't know. It's taken until now. She's been in there since January 2021. It's taken until now because of delayed appointment of a new treasurer. In June, Sleepy Joe appointed Malerba to the post. How embarrassing. Ugh. Sick. And Janet Yellen is not, to my knowledge, a Christian. Otherwise, Sleepy Joe wouldn't have appointed her, right? So, I will get to your super chats, guys. I do see them. I appreciate them. I have some archive super chats to get through still. But let me get to a call first here, guys. And you can call in 888-775-3773. Frederick is in California. Frederick in California on the line. How are you doing, Frederick?
How's it going, Hake?
It's going all right. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Nice.
I was gonna ask you about the how you feel about unions for companies.
I scoff at unions for companies.
You scoff at them.
Yes, because unions, although they help the people make major money and get their breaks and have a cushier life than they normally would have, that's not a good thing, generally. And these unions, it's like ill-gotten gain, and it's corruption, and they support Democrats. And I think that they have socialist/communist roots, so they don't stand for what's right generally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of American
I know
people starting to vote.
there's some decent people who work for unions, and they kind of have to work by force. I know a man who's a teacher, and he has to be in a teachers union, and he's not for what the teachers unions are about. But since he's a teacher, he's forced to be in the teachers union. So sick, huh?
The general census of the teachers want the union there.
Shame on them.
Okay. I was just saying, because that's how unions work. You have to vote them in.
I know. So the people get suckered into that self-destruction. It's kind of like how what I heard that they did with the blacks, with bribing the fathers out of the home, or bribing the mothers to get rid of the fathers, or bribing the mothers and fathers to not get along and stay together and marry.
No.
Similar with the unions. The unions vote away morality and freedom and stuff like that.
But does the union prove like some of the logic of politics wrong? Like when unions get in and they show the profits of the company and make them pay the workers more and let them know you don't have to fire no workers because you have to pay the workers more, and it just seems like they vote unions in for free stuff, and apparently there's some free stuff they're getting, like Democrats, to want the union there.
Yeah, the unions. Are you saying that the union workers and the union bosses tend to be just sometimes crooks,
the union bosses go
criminals
against the company. They had a conflict of interest. Once the union is for the workers, the company
they're not even for the workers, really. They spoil the workers or help the workers out in some cases.
No, they're for the workers if they vote Democrat, because Democrats going to give them corporate tax cuts and then make them pay the workers more. So they're voting Democrat, right, with the union's money. Whether there's Republicans or Democrats working in the union, all of it's going towards the Democrat.
Yeah.
We have a one-party system. It's sad, but I'm seeing how it's played now. Parallel imports from the Republicans.
Have you ever worked for a union?
Yeah. Steel workers of them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Local
Nice.
155.
And so the people are, sometimes the people are decent, or they're just kind of being used, the workers, the actual people who are working. But
I don't know if they're being used. They have a better job than these other companies that can fire you at will. It's almost like they want the certainty of the union, like the certainty that I won't be late and I'll get fired. There's somebody going to represent me. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if I don't do my job, they're going to fire me regardless.
Uh-huh. But if you work for a union, if you don't do your job, you won't necessarily get fired.
Oh, enough write-ups, you're going to get fired. There's rules and point systems that
I know,
you're going to get fired even if you're in the union or not.
No, that's not the case, man. Maybe for the steel workers.
Why do I no longer work at a union?
You don't?
I don't work at a union no more.
But you're still working, right? Or no?
No, I've been retired since I left.
Oh yeah, you're the one who's from the Army.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you don't even work, man.
But I know how unions work.
And you're an able-bodied man, and you're not working at all. You're not. What do you do with your life?
Just be at peace. Walk the beach like you do. I be on Santa Monica.
I only do that on Saturdays.
Santa Monica to Venice.
I only do that on the Sabbath. Or when
You
I'm
only do
off
it over
work.
traffic?
Or when I'm
Oh, well, I do it every day, any day. I live like 15 minutes from Santa Monica Beach.
nice.
Yeah,
So
but
that's all you
it's
do all
just,
day, and then you call into the Hake and Nick Stream and stuff, and JLP.
yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir. Try to enlighten people. Do no harm. And when I'm wrong, I try to promptly admit it.
I wonder if that's a good thing that the army is spoiling the veterans so badly in that sense.
Spoiling?
Yeah, you're
How
spoiled
do you consider that spoiling?
because you're not working. You're an able-bodied 46-year-old man or so, not to dox you or anything, and now you're just walking the beach and calling into radio shows, which I appreciate, but. And then you're
It
getting
gives
all
me a
into being an
purpose.
Egyptian and stuff. You're not
Yeah,
working.
it gives me
You're not
life.
occupied with
You
work.
always-
You're occupied with vanity.
No, I'm occupied with seeking. And once you're
Speaking,
occupied
yeah,
with seeking,
speaking
God
is
says-
vanity.
No,
Yeah, it is.
God says, "Seek and thou shalt know thyself."
Believe me. No, he said be
Always.
quiet.
Who? That's on somebody man wrote that. Come on now. You know when the Bible was written, right?
Don't
Let's not
change the
get into
subject.
that.
Don't change the subject. It's been a coherent conversation so far.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Right.
But the unions and the Democrats are all against the top corporations that's profiting off of the monopoly of parallel imports.
I think that they're members, they're both evil versus evil. Like they're kind of in bed together. The corporations are not friends of America either. I will grant. So the
No,
corporations,
but Republicans are friends of corporations.
yes, fiends.
Yeah, okay.
They're
Okay.
fiends because the Republicans are a bunch
Okay.
of rhinos now too. Enemies of America, just like the demon rats, the Democrats. They are. Because the corporations are they're commie capitalist corporations. They're not for morals or freedom. They hate white people. They hate men. They hate Christians.
But
and
I think we're doing it to ourselves.
And they actually hate
why
the
don't-
LGBT people, but they cater to them. And they hate the blacks, but they cater to them.
Why don't we cut off our TikTok and do like China? They 14-year-olds and under can only watch it for 40 minutes a day about educational stuff.
Nice. So you want to be even more? Is that more communist? But it's more nationalist communist, which
I mean,
is
it's
maybe better
for our youth.
Huh? Spoil against
I don't
to
think
stop
it's
spoiling the
communist.
youth.
I just think it's
So you're
smart.
not for spoiling the youth, but you're for spoiling. I mean, you got that swag.
I don't think veterans are spoiled.
Okay,
If the
all
government
right.
shut down, veterans need to keep getting paid. I mean, you can't cut their check off.
I know, but
Government.
look at you. This is not a good symptom when
I have wounds
you're an able-bodied
inside,
black man,
but I have wounds
smart
inside, though.
family man. I think. What?
All scars are not on the outside.
Oh, you have internal
Can't just
scars.
assume everybody
I know, but that doesn't
is
mean
okay.
you're incapable of work. You're going to the beach.
No,
work
it
heals
does.
you.
No.
Yeah.
No. I had to find my way from 2007 into like 2018 on my own, unemployed, living on the street, before I even knew about being able to get some help. So it wasn't about. I went from making $22 an hour, 70 hours a week at Reynolds
Nice.
Metal Company
Yeah.
to really finding, soul searching, and doing a lot of homework. I went to college during the time, used my GI Bill.
Uh-huh.
That's the only thing I really knew I had because it was in my contract.
Yeah.
But when I found out that I could get health care, I went to the VA. They said, "Hey, you drinking to mask these problems. You
Yeah.
got to go find the bottom of the iceberg and not worry about the tip." The drinking,
Right.
yeah, it's
Nice.
like people don't deal with reality and what's going on
Yeah.
within them through childhood.
Right.
And
on.
like Jesse said, sometimes you got to forgive and resent. You know what I'm saying? Make a list, go. And even if they don't forgive you, you be free to move on about your life.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to rely on validation of other people like your mom or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mom
okay.
used to tell me, front door is wide open. Go live with your daddy. I never had that. I knew who he was. I found out. People will show you.
Huh.
A lot of men are running away from responsibility and blaming the mama, the baby mother. And I'm not with that. My youngest child's 20. He lives in Kentucky, and his mother lives in North Carolina, and I live in California.
Nice.
He's on his own.
Right on. Interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that
He's
about
not
you,
gonna
man.
see no finger.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah, not a problem. I got another son, 24. He lives in Kentucky, but he's in his own apartment. But, yeah, and they called me every day. He found out who his mother was. You know what I'm saying? She was different. You know what I'm saying? Apostolic or whatever. Got to get saved in Jesus' name. That's what got me soul searching. And then
The baby's mother got you soul searching? Your son's...
religion, period.
Okay.
Because I had to get saved in Jesus' name instead of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And my mother, she didn't know. She only known what she'd been taught. So I had to dig out and look at this religion before I trusted it and tried it. But I did trust it and try it.
Huh. Well...
It didn't. Taking 10% of my check and the rules of the Bible just wasn't working right.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, thank you, Frederick.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Let's talk again sometime.
Yes, sir, Hank. And look up Marjorie Taylor Greene. She done said some crazy stuff. They're saying if she planned the insurrection, she would have won and been armed. They would have had guns and been armed. That just came out yesterday. I'm like, she can't say stuff like that.
That sounds sensible to me. That means she didn't plan any insurrection. Because anyway, that sounds sensible to me.
Yeah,
but thanks for the
true
tip,
enough.
man. I might check that out.
Look into it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care, man.
Have a good day, Hank.
All right, you too.
All
Bye. Excuse me. I hate that. Sorry, kids. Don't hate. I do not like. I need to be quicker on the hang up button. Perhaps that will be my. Perhaps that'll be my New Year's resolution to hang up faster. Oh man. I also have another New Year's resolution. I resolved to play more Petra for you guys. But no more Petra perhaps this year. Maybe. Maybe not. I have Christmas music. We're less than 2 weeks from Christmas. Yesterday was the 11th, which means in 2 weeks it would be the 25th, 14 days, right? Which means Christmas is falling on a Sunday and Christmas Eve on a Saturday. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days this week and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days next week. And then it's Christmas. Wow. So we got to play some Christmas music. I will get to your calls, guys. Since I'm over on the rambling stuff, let me read the ramblings of the super chatters. No offense, super chatters. We love you. Hang tight, callers. We will get to you. Base America First with a super chat an hour ago. You can super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. And thanks for giving the $3 tips, guys. I appreciate that. And $5 tips, as opposed to the $1 since I only get 48 cents out of it. Much appreciated. I do notice. Base America First says Israeli Believer Meat Company is building a factory over in North Carolina to ship lab-grown meat. Oh, okay. I no longer support Israel. I'm just kidding. I support Israel, but not this company. Israeli Believer Meat. Beyond Meat, right? Lab-grown meat. Doesn't sound right. Might taste way better than I'm thinking. I'm not even, have no clue. To poor countries. Oh, okay, good. Hopefully America never becomes a poor country. Billionaires sequester millions of acres of U.S. farmland. Food processing plants burn. Oh, yeah, that was been happening, for more than a year. Chickens euthanized over the flu. Fortunately, it's all unrelated. This is Based America First. Sound like a conspiracy theorist there. Israeli believer meat. Believer meat. Huh. North Carolina. I've heard about lab-grown meat. I think I heard about it on when Nick was filling in on Hake News, maybe? Doing Nick News, maybe? Or maybe it was on Nick's stream. Thank you, Base America First. That's disgusting. Billionaire sequester millions of acres of U.S. farmland. Is that Bill Gates been buying that stuff or others? Sleazy Bill Gates. What a simp. And his wife divorced him, and she's still spreading mess, I think. Food processing plants burn. Chickens euthanized over the flu. It's all unrelated, says Base America First. Thank you, man. Star Sion with a super chat on the caller, Frederick. ICK. Caller is right about the youth in China. They don't let them be on TikTok much. They are strengthening, and meanwhile, the adults here are on TikTok all day, and IG, and Twitter, all day. Adult females here in America. Is that a form of warfare? Weakening our people? Shame on us. They don't let them be on TikTok much. You spelled it wrong, Sion. You spelled it correctly, which is wrong. It's supposed to be TIKTOK. They are strengthening their military, yeah, and their education, yep. And they're sending them over here, too, to get the nice education. Arcadia High School that way. Whew. Buying our houses with cash out from under the noses of Americans. I guess shame on us, right? While American generations being destroyed by TikTok and other social media platforms like IG, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, so sick. Thank you, great point, Star Sion. What a deep woman. Overtaxed in Minnesota asks, so they're going to digital currency but still printing money? I think they're just printing money just so that these ladies have their signature on it while they destroy our stuff, you know? Shaking my head. Let me get to another caller or two, guys. Bobby is in Texas, and then I will get to this female president of Peru. I have a picture of her, finally. I talked about her last week a little bit. Bobby in Texas is on the line, though, with a comment about some company that has had shenanigans related to it. Bobby, how are you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
So, yeah, I had a little comment about Balenciaga, and I saw a video of this, one of their employees had put out where they quit, like, on the spot as soon as the allegations were released or whatever. As soon as they found out,
yeah,
I guess they quit. So, you know, there's a phrase back when men were men, you know, and you were judged by a jury of your peers and hung by the neck, that if you ride with an outlaw, you die with an outlaw. And if you stick around after somebody, you know, is committing a crime, you know, or exploiting children at the very least, I think that there is a, you know, a fine line. If you don't leave, you're, you know, culpable.
You think so?
I think so. I think if you stand to stick around, you know, and when you, especially after you're aware of the facts, if you're still going to collect your check,
you know, I
think you should.
I haven't looked at that story at all, except for what Joel Friday, he no longer, not here right now, but next week he'll be here, next Tuesday. And Hassan told me about it. What are the facts? Because the facts that I heard, if I had a job over there, it wouldn't make me leave necessarily, I don't think. I don't know,
you don't
but
think?
Yeah, because not to justify working at a corrupt company, but every company in that industry, in my mind, except for Godly Gifted Gear, you know, the fashion, Godly Gifted Gear is Joel Fridays, is corrupt. They're all corrupt. They're all sick. And just because one, I don't know what the facts are of what was going on with them.
I mean, I think if you're blatantly promoting that type of image for your company, I don't think it really. I don't know,
like the children, like
children with the bondage bears and the babies with covered in blood and whatever. I just think it's pretty clear. I don't think it's I don't think they're making that commercial with good intentions. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they. I mean,
no,
I don't know.
It's not. No, it's even like intentions in general. I don't think they matter. I think that.
And I think
you're doing
the stuff that Kanye would say about cancel culture. You can't. That's what it's for.
John
the canceling things is actually for when somebody's preying on children or hurting animals or something. That's kind of what it's for. It's like, don't use the phrase of cancel culture on something as perverse as child exploitation. It's that you're using, something that should be used to shut down these people that are using it for all the wrong reasons. But that's kind of the reason for cancel. That's the only, thing it should be used for, really.
John Frederick asks, and I don't think that you necessarily agree with this statement, but he asks, how is Nike better, quote unquote, better than Balenciaga? Nike.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're better, but I mean, they're not openly putting out pedophile and child exploitative commercials. I mean, they're doing their own evil business behind closed doors.
I think Nike's doing more harm than Balenciaga, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. But they're doing their harm behind closed doors, whereas, they're putting theirs out kind of mainstream. Like, they're kind of throwing theirs out there
Well, I don't think Balenciaga maybe priming people to be more accepting of that level of degeneracy, maybe. I suppose you could definitely argue that. But Nike is openly, not behind closed doors, openly promoting Black Lives Matter, this women's stuff, maybe the LGBT stuff. I would assume. I don't know. I haven't really specifically seen that.
I would assume by continuing to make their products in China, they're for forced labor camps and forced mutilation.
I don't
and things
care
like
about.
that.
I don't care about child labor in China. I'm fine with that.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily child labor. They're using those
slavery. I don't care about slavery.
As slave labor. But
I don't know. I feel like that stuff may be a little overhyped. But it may not be. It may be it. But
who knows?
My bigger concern with Nike is they promote Colin Kaepernick. They were the first to hire Brittany Griner. Like, Brittany Griner was the first lesbian whom they hired and promoted, and they promoted her wearing men's clothes. Well, can you blame her? She has these broad shoulders. She's tall.
Yeah.
But still, she's not
the most convincing fake.
Yeah, these are not moral people that they're promoting and propping up. So I say that all of the culture, and you have to participate in the world, I think. And so why not be a light in a dark place like Balenciaga or Nike or Amazon or Google or Twitter or Facebook? Because that's what they do. They infiltrate good companies or good churches or good organizations and turn them liberal. Nicolas, host of Nick Stream, he cited this principle in one of his early streams a couple of times, I think, or twice. That every conservative company or group turns liberal because they get infiltrated by their enemies. So why don't we infiltrate the evil companies and turn them good?
So where do you draw the line?
Oh, case by case. Let the Lord lead you, for sure. Because,
for example, you think you're going to get in a terrorist cell and I'm going to be a light in a dark place, and I'm going to convince these, crazy people to not, blow up a place. But if they get caught, you're not, you're still guilty of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some kind of levels to being that light in a dark place.
Right. I mean, it's case by case, man. You have
So
some
child
people that have
exploitation
some common sense.
isn't on that line.
You're saying child exploitation as though everybody who's working at Balenciaga is participating in child exploitation.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be? Like if you're
Not
if you're working
necessarily.
in that,
If it's a big company, then you're not. Everybody who's involved in that company is not necessarily part of that company. I'm not saying that they should stay. I'm not saying that they should go. But I'm saying that on the outside
well, I
looking
would
in,
think
we can't
I
say
think
that.
it's more like somebody like that designer guy that actually has the creative, control. And I don't know, maybe his contract keeps him from being
Hassan
able to.
mentioned that guy Demna, but he
That's
says
who I was more referencing.
he says that Hassan says that Demna may not even have been any part of that, even the green lighting of that aspect of it.
But I mean, he's still there. He's still on their payroll.
But he
He's
may not
leaving.
have been he may not have been part of that. And who knows? I can't speak on that man's character or his situation or anything.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if the case is like, and maybe he wants more information, maybe there's more to learn. I'm sure there is. I don't know everything. But I mean, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not cutting him slack until I know more. He's, and kind of in my mind, he's guilty until proven innocent with the, when you're tied into that type of thing. Like, you're the designer, whether you knew or not, until I find out more, I'm looking at you with a different eye than I would have been otherwise.
It's hard for me to comment because I don't know the story. For some reason, it just doesn't interest me.
It doesn't seem like there's not any reach to it. I don't hear anything interesting. Yeah. Nobody's really reporting anything, different than what you heard day one. So yeah, it's kind of, there's not a whole lot that seems like you can really even research for it.
Yeah.
But just not to change the subject, but the NTG that just called you and
Marjorie
brought
Greene?
that up. Yeah, just to give it like just a little bit of context. Like, I think she was like putting it as like it wasn't an insurrection, like, because she said that if she,
that's how I heard it.
If she had been, if she'd have planned it, it would have been successful, is what I think how she worded it. And it's like basically saying like if this was a planned event, there wouldn't have been a bunch of unarmed people, marching around peacefully inside the Capitol. Like, it would have been a bloodbath, and there would have been, everybody would have been prepared, to get it done. But I think that's more or less what she was saying, that it wasn't an insurrection because there was no, like, it wasn't planned out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I read it too.
Right. But I know
when he said that, he said, "Oh, that's so crazy." Well, she was talking big, like, "Oh, if I had planned an insurrection, we would have won."
Yeah,
that's big talk. But and we would have gone in armed because they were not armed. It was not an armed insurrection. People were acting like, how many guns did they?
I think it was only one guy, that guy from like Texas, that had his family turned him in. I think he may have been the only one that had a gun there.
And did he have a gun on him, or did he have a gun like in the car, or did he brandish the gun, or what?
I'm not clear.
Yeah,
that's unclear.
Yep.
But I think he's the only one that they were like, they took a gun off of, or that they claim had a gun. But yeah, that was how I interpreted it. I read it on some liberal news break article earlier, and like they were all running with it, like, "Oh, look what she said, she's gonna plan one." They're just shooting to the craziness, as they do with anything she says. More along her lines that are kind of on the bad is she's pushing McCarthy, like she's voting for him and stumping for him. That's more of an issue for me with her than her comment.
Say that again?
She's campaigning for McCarthy.
Oh.
She was stumping for him. So that's more like what is the issue for me, to kind of be at odds with her. I'm not going to... I still like her just because
what's the other option besides McCarthy, though?
I guess Trump. I don't know.
No, McCarthy's not running for president.
No, running for Speaker of the House.
Oh, Trump is not interested. Like, there's no way.
You asked me who's better.
No, I'm talking about who's actually running for Speaker of the House besides McCarthy.
They could put any one of those. What did Trump got put in? 73 people into the House. I guess any one of those people would be a good probably be better.
But there's nobody who's saying, "Oh, I would be better than him."
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody running against him. I haven't followed it that
Right.
closely. I just know I don't like McCarthy. I know
Me
he's
neither.
definitely not one I like.
He is a rhino. He's been a rhino
Yeah.
for a long time.
Him and the minority leader in the Senate now,
McConnell?
McConnell.
Yeah.
Those two, they've got to get rid of those guys and that whole group.
To me, they're the tip of the iceberg. I think there's a whole lot of weakness and corruption in the whole Republican Party. Look at most of them voted against Steve King, Congressman Steve King, to oust him
Like
and
the-
censure him and stuff like that. Most of those
I think
Republicans.
the entire government has corrupted
Yeah.
at this point. Like, you have really neither party is good. Like, they're both out for money. They're both controlled by corporate donors.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you vote for somebody that you want in there, and then they get controlled by the corporate donors that don't have any interest in you getting what you need or want. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you get nothing that you vote for.
True.
So there's the occasional, good candidates that roll through that you potentially might make it better. Like, Trump wasn't perfect, but he made things better in some ways, and I'm sure inevitably things went worse while he was there. But for the most part, for me, things were better.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Have a good day, buddy.
All right, you too. Take care. Guys, I will get back to calls and stories and the mess in the world. It's interesting how people puff up about the tips of the iceberg, such as Balenciaga or Jeffrey Epstein, when the whole world is corrupt. I guess it's like the lowering of the standards. Anyway, now it's time for some music, guys. And it's Christmas music time. Did you know that George Friedrich Handel was black? It's true. The guy who wrote Handel's Messiah, ever heard of that? This is track 1 of Handel's Messiah, a soulful celebration. Overture by George Friedrich Handel, a partial history of black music. Indeed. No, I'm kidding. This is from Mervyn Warren. It's a cover, or it's a tribute, a black tribute, a jungle tribute from 1992 to the original by George Friedrich Handel, who was not black. I was kidding. Enjoy, guys. You musical Philistines, I think you will like it. And I'll be back for hour 2. Hang tight. So good. Am I right? Or no? I can't understand the lyrics. I always liked this as a kid. It's the only track I liked on this album. The rest of it was too gospel-y. So good. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Best Kisser Bibby 42 says, so good. Thank you, man. I knew that you would agree. He was raised by blacks, I heard. Reefer madness is jalopy. I don't know what that refers to. Other than that, indeed, people are going nuts, and it may not be helping that they are on the pot. Seriously, this is why Hake rides in his Prius alone. You talking about the music, the excellent music? 90s urban, says it's the real Mr. Mad. Indeed. Is this Hake's drain? Oh, yeah, we were showing the car wash. Welcome to 1990. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Let me read more from the chat. Give a little hat tip to the people in the chat. Freaking out, some of them, over the conversation about Balenciaga. They gotta quit. I'm like, I don't know. Hard to comment on it. Women are not disgusting, Hake, says Bella. Says Bella, also known as Jupiter. SNL is for losers. Indeed. I don't understand Hake, or his, who's his, I'm not sure. Says hate speech, trying to back Balenciaga. Who's backing them? Nobody's backing them. One person can ruin a 10,000 plus employee company, says John Frederick. Indeed. They're all involved with the kiddies at that company, says Matt Living the Dream. It's sickening to hear y'all defend them. You think that Demna guy is involved in that? I don't know. I can't say. Hey, caller, the enemy is within you, not in some virtue signaling crusade to prove evil people exist, says urinal cake sorcerer. Yeah, some of the worst snakes have called into my show. I'm not calling Bobby that or any of the chat that necessarily, but some of the worst snakes have called into my show freaking out about Jeffrey Epstein. He's involved with children. Please. Look at yourself. Where are the examples at Bond? Where? Point me to them, asks Matt Living the Dream. Not sure what you mean by that, man. Indeed. What a mess. Terrible. Another quick chat related to the MTG thing. Marjorie Greene, I call her. The Queen, Marjorie Greene. An insurrection is an attempt to overthrow the government. They weren't trying to overthrow the government. They were protesting the certification of the electoral votes without auditing the votes. After some people, falsely, of course, cast doubt on the results. I added to his, he didn't say falsely. Thank you, Butch, over there in the Facebook chat. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Shout out to you. Indeed. Tim Scott says, thanks to Hake for reminding how blackety black I was with Mervyn. Mervyn Warren, the guy who covered George Friedrich Handel's Overture, a partial history of black music. So good. Isn't it so good? Before I get back to calls, I have to cover this female Peru president, okay? Look at this picture. I have a picture of her. And I also have a picture of the man whom she replaced. Speaking of women and corruption. You know, first we had Janet Yellen, now we have Dina Boluarte. This is from a Commie Nonsense Network, Photos of the Week. Last week. She received the presidential sash. And look at her standing all tall, shoulders back, head up, chin up, shoulders back, chest out. And it takes two guys to put a sash on her. And she's wearing this yellow pantsuit. Boluarte, sworn in as Peru's new president. First female president, I think, right? Of Peru. From going from bad to worse, about to take a dive, I think. This was last Wednesday. Boluarte's predecessor, Pedro Castillo, was removed from office. Pedro Castillo. Double L makes a Y sound, right? Was removed from, or a J sound, depending on where you are. Was removed from the office and arrested on Wednesday. I'm shaking my head. Last week. For unconstitutionally, they claim, declaring the temporary closure of Congress per several constitutional analysts in the country, says Commie Nonsense Network. At least 7 cabinet ministers and other senior officials. Look at this guy. I think he's the guy in the middle. Doesn't he look like he's a Pedro Castillo? Pedro Castillo. And I heard that somebody in the chat or in the comments or in the super chats for Hake said they're not happy about that. The protesters are protesting this because they're accusing, the establishment is accusing this man of corruption and police arresting him. But here in America, the most innocent people, most pro-America people, the men, the Christians, the whites, are Trump, and Trump supporters are the ones accused of corruption when the corrupt people are the ones accusing. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? At least 7 cabinet ministers and other senior officials resigned in protest of Castillo's move. Wow, turncoats. Hard to find good help these days. Just ask Trump. Not to give him excuses for failures, but it's true. Accusing the former president of attempting a coup. Didn't they accuse Trump of that? Now, I don't know anything about this Castillo guy. Boluarte, this woman, she was Peru's vice president? Oh. Was she in support of Pedro Castillo? She is now the first female. Is it Pedro Castillo's fault for selecting her? It reminds me of that guy who was ousted from the governor of New York State. Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo. He had a female vice governor. Well, lieutenant governor, whatever. And then she took over. Ridiculous. She is now the first female president in Peru's history. Yes, Peru is history now. The 6th Peruvian president in less than 5 years. I heard that Peruvians are upset, though, and protesting the corruption they're accusing the wrong guy of corruption, maybe. Or maybe it's corrupt versus corrupt. But, accusing the wrong guy of corruption is the way the world seems to be working nowadays, What a shame. So he was sitting, there's a photo that Hassan showed of him sitting in the car Wednesday in Lima, Peru. What a great name. Interesting name, huh? Lima, Peru. Removed from office and arrested for unconstitutionally declaring the closure of Congress. Oh, I'm sorry. You can get arrested for that? It's pronounced fail use, Hake. It's the real Mr. Mad. Yeah, so what a shame. I have a sad story of a Me Too woman gone... Well, I don't know. To me, it's sad. Maybe you shouldn't be sad. A tragedy in the Me Too movement. Terrible. But first, let me get to another call or two, guys. You can call in 888-775-3773. Art is in Ohio. On the line, Art, what is up? How you doing?
Hake it, hate, never fake it, fake, baby.
Nice.
Baby. Man, hold up. What's up with my main man, the Don? Your man, the Don, our man, the Don, and the United States President, Mr. Trump. I told him, what was it, about a year and about 3 months ago on the Hake show, I said, hey, you need to go ahead and defund the CIA and the FBI.
Yeah.
And come to find out, Artie Art hits again, dead right in the smack of the bullseye. Wow. And it's crazy that only intel report that I'm getting is from Father God, you know. So come to find out, the FBI has been blacklisting, having Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and all these other little platforms blackballing the Don.
Yeah.
Man Trump.
Yeah.
And,
All
yeah.
politically involved against the greatest president of our lifetimes.
Yeah. So my thing is this. I'm getting tired of the shenanigans and whatnot. Somebody got to be held accountable, from the politicians to your tech company, everybody. Somebody got to be held. And if they're not going to hold people accountable, then you putting it into the citizens' hands to take law and justice into their own hands. And I'm pretty sure they don't want the citizens to take the justice in the law into their hands, because that's going to lead to a whole bunch of chaos. So they better get on the ball and do something, because last time I checked, you've been censoring the truth about the COVID stuff, which my grandmother, y'all don't scare my grandmother and a whole bunch of other people into taking this vaccine when they didn't even have to take it, because y'all was blacklisting and censoring people. So, yeah, y'all don't got a lot of people killed, a lot of people hurt, and somebody's got to be held accountable. Y'all can't keep hiding behind the fact, oh, we didn't know, this is circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial my ass. Y'all, somebody got to be in jail.
Sorry,
you know
kids.
what I mean? And another thing is, the CIA definitely, because where y'all at when the FBI was doing this stuff? I know y'all international, y'all really don't have no say over here what's going on American soil, because y'all supposed to be international, but somebody's got to be held accountable, because somebody's got to be overlooking the CIA, somebody has to be overlooking the military, somebody has to be overlooking the FBI to make sure these government programs and these law enforcement are held accountable, and they're working within the Constitution. And then second thing is, just like with the Bout and the Brittany Griner thing, who the hell let them trade her for Bout? And don't nobody think that this is awfully funny? And I'm gonna use I'm gonna use a situation that I know firsthand, because I've seen it and I was around, so I know. So I ain't talking about something that I don't know. I know somebody who went to jail. And when they went to jail, they had a whole stash of stuff, money and drugs and whatnot. So when they came home from jail, they just sat back for 4 months to let everything cool down and make sure the cops and the feds wasn't on and watching them. And then they got back to their old tricks. And this is somebody I know firsthand. So you mean to tell me that they don't think that Bout got a whole stash of guns that he had put up? And, they might be old, but they don't take nothing but a little bit of lubrication on them guns, and they back functioning like brand new.
Nice.
So, and then, just like I was saying about the NBA and the WNBA, y'all already going broke, so y'all dummies don't trade it, and y'all thinking this is a good trade. Well, guess what? You ain't getting paid over here in America, so you can't go over to these other foreign countries and play basketball, get higher paying salaries, because guess what now? You lesbians, they going to start kidnapping you and doing the same thing that Putin did with Brittany Griner. And guess what? You ain't coming home this next time or whatnot. So, yeah, now y'all can't even go overseas and play basketball and get any money, because now y'all don't set a precedent where everybody knows if we just kidnap a lesbian or a basketball player or an entertainer, the woke crowd going to try to come save them or whatnot, to try to propagandize or whatnot. And, what is it saying? What is this? I mean, you wonder
it
why
does feel like special treatment, huh? Doesn't it feel like special treatment for that liberal black lesbian female SJW, so-called WNBA star? She got the special treatment because everybody was freaking out. All the Twitter people, which is a bunch of liberals, were freaking out, and this dumb liberal basketball celebrities, Americans, were clamoring to free Britney. Oh, and free Paul Whelan, I guess is how you pronounce it. I want to pronounce it Whelan. So Sleepy Joe, just like the Obama administration, which it continues, Sleepy Joe favors the celebrity who can help him politically, I guess, and not Paul Whelan, who I heard Jesse Lee say that he heard that he supports Trump, maybe. Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh?
I heard that. I heard that too. Yeah,
Sounds
shenanigans.
to me, it sounds very sick and corrupt. Maybe illegal, quote unquote, but not good. Not good.
And guess what?
I
they
heard
did?
that
They
Trump
did-
had the opportunity to free the guy, but it
Mhm.
wasn't in such desperate times. Russia was not the great enemy that they are today of so-called America. So it was a completely different situation.
Man, if Trump did, man, come on, man.
And Trump is a
Trump-
mainstream guy. Trump would not have released Victor Boot because Trump believes Victor Boot was one of the worst. And I don't know, Trump may
Yeah.
be wrong about that. But I don't know.
You think Bout is one of the worst?
Boot. Victor Boot, yeah, Bout is how it's spelled. Trump thought that, I think that Trump said that Victor Boot was one of the worst. That's what I thought that I heard that he said. And I don't know if he really was or if he wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Because, you know, like,
that.
Trump is kind of mainstream. He didn't pardon Julian Assange, you know, because the mainstream people are not for pardoning Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks guy. So Trump is not with the more independent-minded people on this topic.
So my thing is that they think he had the opportunity to free. I don't need no liberals or none of you dang on rhino Republicans or even Republicans or Democrats anyway trying to tell me about a deal. Trump knows what a deal is and what ain't a deal. You career politicians don't know your mouth from your butt, so I don't expect y'all to know a deal when it's sitting right in front of your face. You don't traded a Michael Jordan card for a WNBA basketball upper deck card.
Very
and
true.
It just don't make no dang.
Do they make WNBA basketball cards? That never occurred to me. They do?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, they do have them or whatnot, but yeah, what you look like trading a upper deck Michael Jordan MVP basketball card for a dang on upper deck WNBA card?
I saw
it. The WNBA.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm interrupting, but this woman, Brittany Griner, there was a picture of Brittany Griner deplaning. I think I had it on Friday's, in Friday's folder. She was deplaning, and the caption read, WNBA superstar. Is anybody from the WNBA a superstar, much less a star? Or a star, period, much less a superstar, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it's a matter of opinion.
Watch how their ratings drop. They're out of business, man. American people, we're so tired of this stuff or whatnot, man. Ain't nobody supporting that or whatnot. And how you think you see that a lot of people ain't enlisting into the military and stuff? You think they're gonna be enlisting into the military when y'all don't trade it off a pothead lesbian for somebody that done went and fought to try to protect America, and y'all don't even respect that or even care about a person that's trying to physically put their life, taking bullets and getting shot at. Y'all don't even care about them or whatnot, but y'all want to trade somebody that's dribbling a dang on ball, that's up here living immorally and is on pot, that's dumb enough to don't know if you going into another country to respect their rules. Just like that reporter that went over there, the soccer reporter or whatnot, his brother is over here in Seattle and told his brother to go over to that place and wear that LGBTQIAPN shirt or whatnot. And I think that he probably did get assassinated over there, and that's what he did for taking. Yeah, I think he did, and that's what he did. Don't nobody feel bad for him because you should respect where you at. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. So if you go somewhere else and you think that, I'm an American, I can go and say what I want to do and do what I say and want to do what I want to do. In another country, you're going to get what you get, and if you get killed, oh well, or whatnot. And, yeah, man, ain't nobody. And then think about this. And he's allegedly from Seattle, where they did that chop thing, where they was burning up the looting and robbing the BLM down there in Seattle, where they had it shut down to where the police couldn't come in. They had that little safe zone to where the police couldn't come into the little. What do you think? You think that them people over there in that country that y'all just went to for their little soccer game don't know that? Y'all ain't trying to do nothing but go over there and subvert their country. Right. And yeah, they probably assassinated you, and that's what you get. Don't nobody feel bad for you. You're going around here picking on people, stealing money from people or whatnot. They need housing assistance, Y'all robbing people. Then when they tell you that they gonna harm you, y'all get all scared and stuff. You playing with people's lives and stuff. People already don't being shut down for 2 or 3 years or whatnot. Damn near on the brink of being homeless. And y'all playing people's lives, and a lot of people just fed up to where they don't care whether they live or they die because they on the brink of being homeless. So, you know, a lot of this stuff, man, somebody got to be held accountable or whatnot. And Jenny Buss, we want that money back. Anybody who's been stealing, Jenny Buss, the little owner of the Lakers, we ain't forgot about you. We want that money back or whatnot.
Oh, I don't know about that story.
Yeah, she got some of that PPP loan, the little scammer money. She got some of that money or whatnot. And, yeah, we want that back. And, yeah, I ain't forgot about my great aunt or whatnot and my grandmother, the ones who took that vaccine or whatnot. Cancer came back and it messed with their diabetes or whatnot. And it's going to be some people held accountable. We ain't forgetting about it. You don't got a lot of innocent American people killed over this COVID-19 stuff, and we ain't forget about it. And one more thing, Hake, and I'm going to get up off here because I hear a lot of people
I got to run. Call me tomorrow with that. Call me tomorrow.
That'll work. I'll catch you later, Dave.
All right. Take care, man. I appreciate it. Art in Ohio. Hey, are you proud of me? I didn't hear the click. But with Art, you don't really hear a click. He does it right. He had a lot to get off his chest, huh? That was a big rant about various topics. Art in Ohio. I'm dizzy now. I feel dizzy. Is this how you guys feel when Hake rambles and goes off on all these different subjects? Probably so. Thank you, Art, man. Art in Ohio. I don't know if that guy was offed. The guy with the rainbow T-shirt. It seemed like it, but people were saying, somebody called it a climate, let me read this. Somebody called, before I get back to calls and this story about this poor liberal Sherpa. Actually, a few different stories about these lovely ladies. The lovely ladies are curing our corruption. There was a quote that I read about these lovely ladies. This lovely lady who's taking over Peru, and I use the term lovely and lady loosely, of course. She said something about getting rid of corruption is my #1 task. Please. And we have Janet Yellen fixing, with 62% of the workforce in the Treasury Department or whatever you call it, women. It's no wonder it's just a symptom of how far we're falling or we've fallen. Corruption. Oh, yeah. My first task is to fight corruption in all forms. That's a quote. Maybe she spoke it in Spanish. What do they speak in Peru? Dina Boluarte, after being sworn in on Tuesday as the new president of Peru. First female president in the country's history, brags Commie Nonsense Network. On the same day, her predecessor, Pedro Castillo, was removed from office and arrested for unconstitutionally declaring the temporary closure of Congress. Please. Makes me want to spit. Where's my spittoon? I know exactly where it is. I need to bring it sometime to show it off to you guys. According to several constitutional analysts in the country. I'm sorry, I didn't know that several constitutional analysts decided that he should be removed from office and arrested. Sounds like a corrupt country to me, but I could be wrong. But let me actually read this. Man, there was a funny chat from Gotcha6, at least, I think, about this Wahl guy dying. Grant Wahl. Samurai Cam said after Hake News, the Hake News segment, that it's the vaccine making these folks drop like this. And I don't know, I disavow that, of course. Climate stroke, says Gotcha6. Yeah, climate stroke. And who knows? Isn't it kind of not as nice of conditions in Qatar? I don't know. Grant Wahl, rest in peace. I'm shaking my head. Okay, so this liberal Sherpa woman. It is time to get to this liberal Sherpa woman. You remember this lady? She used to appear on Tucker Carlson a lot, and then she turned on Tucker. What a shame. I guess you get what you deserve, in that sense. Like what Art was saying about the guy who died in Qatar. Look at her, so mildly attractive, a little bit older, a little bit old. Self-proclaimed liberal Sherpa, once a regular unpaid guest on Fox News. Faux news. This is from Daily Mail, far left Daily Mail, far left sloppy outlet Daily Mail. Remember she used to appear on Tucker Carlson and have a weird smile and defend weird takes back in 2018, and then in 2020 she turned on them. She tried to Me Too Tucker and based Sean Hannity. What a sick person. Kathy Aru, who also appeared on The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson. Did you know that? Hat tip to the person on Twitter who tagged me on this and alerted me. Wow. Kathy Aru, 51 years old. I think she's part Hispanic. Arrested Friday in Miami. Faces numerous charges. Self-proclaimed liberal Sherpa, once a regular guest on Fox News, stole, according to, if you're supposed to believe the police down in Florida, at least $224,000 from her 88-year-old mother. She's 51, her mother's 88. Mother was about 37 roughly when she had her. Look at her mother. And this is from Jack Posobiec. He tweeted this out. That's how I found out. Based Jack Posobiec, whom Nick Fuentes calls a Fed. He might be, who knows. Arrested for kidnapping on her own mom twice and scamming her out of $224,000. Physically dragged the elderly woman. I'm laughing. I'm laughing with the mother, not at the mother, and with the liberal Sherpa, not at her. Man, that mugshot doesn't look good. And this picture of this mother, 88 years old, is this a recent photo? Is this she 88? Like what type of photograph is this? Is this from the nursing home that they tried to put her in? Or is it a mugshot? Is she a criminal too? Or is it just a bad driver license photo? I mean, you can kind of see the resemblance a little. Is she the Hispanic one? Because liberal Sherpa is supposedly part Hispanic. Do you guys know who this is? She used to be so weird, but harmless and funny alongside Tucker Carlson. Now she's more dark-haired, long-haired. Mildly attractive, I suppose, right? Yeah, mildly attractive. Poor lady, though. She's 51 now. And looks every bit of it. Haggard. Hair's a mess. Frizzy. A little bit. Not that bad. Aru previously appeared as an unpaid guest on a number of Fox News shows until 2020. And she was on the website, I think, when she filed a sexual harassment lawsuit naming hosts Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, a claim later dismissed by the judge. Well, I suppose she's getting what she deserves. Like, you don't do that, ladies. Me Too, ladies. Me Too movement, all evil, malice, and money. Juanita Broderick was like, wow, I met her at Fox back 3-4 years ago when I was waiting to be interviewed. I thought then, that's a weird lady. Indeed, Juanita Broderick, the woman who accuses Bill Clinton of quote-unquote rape. Who knows? Maybe it's true. I don't know. These ladies, lost ladies. But Juanita Broderick, yeah, it's kind of true. This lady is weird. Faces numerous felony charges, Kathy Aru, including kidnapping, exploitation of the elderly, and organizing an organized scheme to defraud, being held without bond in Miami-Dade County Jail. Prosecutors say she falsified documents to take control of her mother's home, siphoned money from her mother's reverse mortgage and savings account, and took out credit cards in her mother's name and then used them for her own benefit. Sounds like what JLP says black mothers do to their black children before the black children are even grown. They'll ruin their child's credit. Wild. I'm laughing, but it's crazy stuff in the world. Now, this is ridiculous. This prosecutor woman goes way too far, in my opinion. Listen to this. Every incident of alleged elder exploitation or abuse touches our heart and never fails to shock us. says Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle. Fernandez Rundle. So is she Fernandez her maiden name, and then she married a Rundle guy? Is she a feminist? Said in a statement, please stick to the facts, you prosecutors. Don't be like, oh, every exploitation and abuse touches our heart. She's probably I'm guessing, totally guessing, maybe the mother's reaping what she sowed on Kathy's whole life, right? Two devils fighting, right? It seems particularly hard to understand when the alleged perpetrator of the exploitation is a daughter or a son or another blood relative, added Catherine Fernandez Rundle, state attorney. Be quiet. I'm shaking my head. So Fox News deleted Kathy Aru's profile. Former contributing editor for Washington Post magazine, political interviews 2001 to 2012 in her younger days. And then she founded the magazine Catalina back in 2001 to break stereotypes and show a positive side of the U.S. Hispanic community. That's what makes me think, and I think she mentioned it on The Fallen State that she's a Hispanic. Isn't this so Hispanic? Sorry, Hispanics, but isn't this story kind of Hispanic? Hispanic/American. So, poor lady. Is there anything else interesting to this story? She sued in 2020, naming Carlson. You don't turn on Tucker Carlson. He was nice to you. Claiming sexual harassment. The judge dismissed the suit, so that was really no case. Or else she's just not that convincing because she's so nutty seeming. Oh, here's this story. This is funny. I mean, it's not funny, but this is more interesting. Okay, so according to the prosecutors, investigation began in 2019 when state officials received reports Kathy Aru was exploiting her mother. Meanwhile, she was accusing Tucker and Sean Hannity of exploiting her. Paperwork had been filed turning over the mother's house to Aru, but the mother denied the signature was hers. Oh, who knows what the truth is? In a dispute between two women, King Solomon would have cut the baby in half. In the first case, they say Aru tricked her mother into believing she was being taken to have ice cream with her granddaughters. Kathy Aru apparently is a mother, maybe. But instead, take her to a home. Let's go get ice cream, Mom. And then take her to a home. When the mother tried to call for help, Aru allegedly told the staff not to let her use the phone or see visitors. After doctors and officials found the woman competent to make her own decisions and released her to go home, prosecutors say Aru and another person physically dragged her from her house and took her to another facility. Again, the woman was released after she was found competent and asked to go home. The investigation continues. Innocent unless proven guilty. All of these ladies are innocent. So crazy. Oh my goodness. I have another funny story to share with you. Hopefully I will get to it, but I have to get to some calls. I'm so mad I'm shaking. Okay. None of this is interesting, says Covert Overt. Whatever, man. Good thing we have the chat to keep you interested. Justin in Fullerton, California is on the line. Justin, thanks for calling. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Fine. How about you?
I'm doing exceptionally well. I was glad to get on and this brisk morning to chat with you about what I tried to get on last week about. James Woods had apparently gotten the gall to straight out sue the DNC. I'm trying to follow up on any kind of real news on it, if it's true or not. And what do you think about this?
I haven't looked into it at all. I'm not into lawsuits generally. Like lawsuits, the courts are so corrupt. I don't have any faith in lawsuits. But James Woods, the based actor, pro-Trump, I think, relatively conservative perhaps.
Definitely.
Old school.
Yes.
Suing the DNC, the Democrat National Committee, for what?
For defamation, libel, and slander. Apparently, he has been slandered in the past, and in the past he had to sue for people that, whatever. I think it might have just been a person that commented.
Yeah.
But,
I remember he appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, my competitor.
Tucker Carlson.
And he's
recently. Oh, okay.
I think the story goes that he sued some guy who accused him of being on coke or some type of drugs on Twitter.
Yeah.
Some just normal Twitter user who just flippantly said that. And he's cracking the whip on people flippantly defaming him. And good for him. That's cool. That's one lawsuit I can support. Yeah. Punish these people because that's libel. I mean, because people spread crazy, nasty rumors. And if you can prove that you're not a drug addict, never taken drugs in your life, or you have some plausible deniability, then right on to you. That's cool.
Well, see, that key word or phrase you used is actually making me think something on the fly here. I think that there is plausible deniability for most of the politicians, and the Democratic Party, the DNC is being sued, which could be just a term. Oh, you're being sued, like all the frivolous lawsuits out there, or it could be a trend, so that whether you're the president, and you're saying some false things, you could be sued. But if you're not, and if you're saying real things and it's been proven it's factual, like this president, maybe the investigations that go further into, a laptop and yada, 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 are going to be something very revealing. Or the insurrection investigations later can be more revealing. I'm just thinking out loud, but suing someone is not, I don't think, my way. I've been hurt many times. I had many injuries, 7 of them to be precise, from ladders, car accidents. I've never sued anyone.
Nice.
It's just a conviction I have. But I believe that if you do something, this could be unprecedented right now, but could be something that could be a trend where more, even the average person will be careful of what they say, and we don't do our on the reverse of this, we don't do what can be idolatry. When you worship a celebrity, if Kanye says something or Alex Jones says something or Tucker Carlson, it's just a figure. It's just an individual, and we don't need to worship celebrities, what they say, or a lot of opinions. But facts are facts, and if someone says you're a cokehead and has got some facts, great. If you're a pedophile and there's facts on you, then there needs to be some type of prosecution. There's a lot of actors, that have been accused of that, and they don't get anything happen to them. Balenciaga, it's an over-talked about story, but it's something that is probably deeper, for another time. But that is, not easily corrected either just by banning a page or something. But with Twitter and all the organizational structure they had about staying woke and everything, it should be a trend that now all the things that come out of what's been suppressed can be fleshed out in a way that we can sort what's fact, what not, and who needs to go to jail. You're not just suing someone for money. There should be jail time for people. And the DNC, I do know the Clintons have a very big list, and so anybody that talks against them don't really make it. So I would be praying for James Woods, sincerely. And that's all I have to say.
Interesting, man. Well, I appreciate it. It is. I like him fighting back. And there are good lawyers and decent judges out there in the world, in the courts, but it's just not the majority of them. So that's cool, man. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate the input on that, Justin.
Yeah, my pleasure. And have a good rest of your day. I always enjoy hearing your show. And I didn't even know that you had, because you mentioned this morning that you had relatives that you go way back in your family to the Mayflower. That's pretty
Something
impressive.
Like that, yeah.
James, I don't know. So stay up, sir, and have a great rest of your week ahead.
Nice, thanks, man. Take care. Yeah, my grandpa goes way back in Virginia, I think, on one side. Nice. The other grandpa is a mystery. He's the one that my dad said the doctors, I think my dad said it, I'm quite sure, said they found Indian blood, like American Indian, that type of Indian. Not Native American. We're Native Americans, the whites who founded America. Not me, but, well, I didn't found it, but the ancestors may have. Let me get to Rick in Hampton, Virginia. Rick was trying to get through his has a history of trying to get through recently on the Hake report and not getting through. Rick in Hampton, Virginia, how are you doing, man?
Man, what's going on, James? Everybody listen to the Hake report today, my brother.
Nice. I appreciate it. That's cool.
Wow, man. You know what I want to talk about, man? You know how you know why he did that swap for, got Brittany Griner and left the Marine over there?
Uh-huh. I heard that he was a
probably-
dishonorably discharged Marine. Whatever that
He was
means.
dishonorably discharged?
That's what some people on Twitter said, but maybe that was just libel. Who knows?
Well, the fact is, he could have got them both. See, Russia got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shows the alpha male in Putin. He got exactly what he wanted.
It's certainly more alpha than this beta Biden that we have right now.
Man,
and that
Biden,
beta State Department official, Antony Blinken. Even that name, I would change my name if my name were Antony Blinken. I don't know.
Wow.
You guys bigger
now, who's
problems
that
maybe.
guy?
Huh?
Who is Anthony Blinken?
He's the State Department secretary. I think,
oh,
right?
God,
Isn't he?
man.
Antony Blinken. Yeah, Secretary of State.
Wow. I noticed, man.
He's the new Hillary.
Even the more blacks you have in your administration, saying the more confusion you have. Even with Deion Sanders firing, all the blacks are getting upset that he got fired, but they never seen the corruption the school was doing, taking money from the man.
Oh, I hadn't
and not
heard about
supporting
that.
Yeah.
Deion
Man,
Sanders, what about him? He got fired?
Yeah, he got fired. He was coaching a historical black college in Jackson State University.
Okay.
So he left and went to Colorado State, and a lot of the blacks got upset with him because he left a black school to go to a white school.
But it's not a
they
white
never
school, it's
took the
just a
time.
school.
Well,
There are no
I don't
white
have a
schools.
problem. Well,
I wish
guess,
there were white schools.
Yeah, me too, because they'd be better ran.
Right.
And it's like, what it was is like, hey, I don't care what school he went to. Deion can be a blessing to anybody. He has a real good heart. I mean, real big heart. And
Who,
what he
Deion
was doing
Sanders
now-
has?
Say again?
Deion Sanders has a big heart?
Yes.
Nice.
He was using his own salary to feed the football players.
Wow.
That should have been the school's jurisdiction.
That's too big.
They didn't even have enough money to for the football players to go on the road, no hotels and stuff. He had to come out of his own pocket. They was only paying him $300,000, and he was giving them half of that money back.
Wow. For those who are not familiar, the Gen Z people who might not know, or maybe they know better than I do,
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders was an NFL, he's probably in the Hall of Fame. Is he an NFL Hall of Famer?
Yes, he is. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's
He
in the
was
Hall
with
of
the
Fame.
49ers, Cowboys,
Cowboys,
based
Falcons.
Redskins,
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens, Atlanta Falcons, all the best. Oh, he also played baseball, MLB.
Yeah.
So
And
you know
won a
he
World
had.
Series.
So you know he had his parents. Hat tip to my guest host. Did you hear Big Bump talk about baseball? I forgot he was a baseball player. Is he also a Christian? Deion Sanders, is he
Yes,
one of
he
those
is.
guys who's
He's
like a
he-
preacher
he-
or something?
Well, he is a believer, and he just minister. He just going out there trying to get these most of these black kids from being so angry because see, Deion grew up without his father, but however, you know how Jesse says he loved his dad regardless.
Yeah.
I think he was on drugs or used to be an alcoholic, and he still, when he got in the face, he said, look, just take care of my dad. Let me know how my dad is doing.
He was
He
nicknamed.
still loved his dad.
He was nicknamed Prime Time, just like Alex Stein. Right on.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was a nice guy. Played football
Yeah.
and baseball at the same time. Multi-talented.
And won a championship in both sports.
Nice. Well, he seemed like
And,
a nice guy. I don't know much about him. And so he's been
Well,
fired? What was he fired for?
He wasn't fired. He left. He left Jackson State to go to Colorado.
Oh, okay. And that's
And-
a scandal because the blacks are complaining that he went to the white school.
Right, and that's what it is. They told me he went, but they don't know why he went because they was taking money from the man.
Crabs in a bucket.
They wasn't supporting him.
Yeah.
And Deion was cutting grass, and when you have maintenance, should have been cutting grass of keeping the stadium. He out there cutting grass.
Wow. Humble man. Maybe.
You know, I mean, how he's supposed to coach. That's a big enough job.
Yeah.
And that's why you got maintenance to maintain the grass, cutting in the cleaners of the stadium and stuff. I guess sometimes I wonder was they even coming to work, man, because Deion didn't have much support. He didn't have no support.
Sounds typical of how you would expect a school that's run by people who've been subsidized and kissed up to all their lives. They just kind of coast.
Most black colleges are like that. Like they need all the teachers and staff members got nice cars and they wear nice clothes like you go into a talent show.
Wow.
And all the money gets going their salaries and other programs to try and keep the government off of them. And they wear don't put no money back into the school. That's why most black colleges seems to be falling apart.
And Triple H, I did know. I'm looking at the chat. Triple H is all. How does Hake not know about Sanders? What the? No, I know the name Deion Sanders. I forgot that he was in both football and baseball. It's been a while, and he's like this black guy. He's a black guy, famous black guy, well liked.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most NFL. He tried to teach young black athletes how to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Don't be screaming and hollering all over the place. And he just go after the best. He's more after the souls of the kids instead of just trying to make them play. He teach them about football, but at the same time he teach them life surviving skills which they need.
That's cool.
And one more thing, James.
Okay.
You know the guy Art from Ohio?
Yes.
Man, I would like for you to link us up, man. I'd like to talk to that guy. I love Art from Ohio, man.
Oh, okay.
If you can,
I'll put you on
my number.
Rick. I'll put you on hold, and maybe Nick or Daniel or somebody can take your number down.
Absolutely. Yes, I would like to link up with Art from Ohio. What part of Ohio is he from?
I don't know. I may know, but I'm blanking on it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I just love to hear that brother talk, man, because I like his spirit and attitude, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Rick. Appreciate hearing from you, man.
No problem, James, man. Keep up the good work, man. We're going to get through this jungle, man, and
nice.
And hopefully maybe we can get Sleepy Joe, but hey, what do you think of the midterms, man? Because I don't know. It's ain't going to be a one-party world system because governor in a Senate candidate in Arizona? No, the governor in Arizona, she didn't even campaign, no debate, and still won. It got to be some corruption, man. How can somebody vote for somebody that won't debate and, talk about the issues?
Oh, the voters are such idiots. It's quite believable for me it's quite easy for me to believe that people will vote for somebody who won't debate.
Man,
there may well have been shenanigans, but I, of course, disavow that notion.
If I'm gonna vote for you, okay, give me a reason why I should vote for you. Debate. How you stand? Do you stand for Christian values? Are you an atheist? You want to get rid of prayer and stuff? I need to know that.
You're a different breed of voter, Rick. The new generation of voters does not think like you.
Well, I tell you what, man. I may not get it right all the time, James, but man, I try and really keep a compass on the scriptures, man, and vote Bible, man. Look at the world from what's Jason Whitlock always say? Look at the world from a biblical point of view.
Okay, right on, man. Well, Rick, I gotta go. I'll talk to you again, man.
Do your thing, James. Love you. Be blessed, brother.
You too. Adios. My favorite caller is on the line, guys. Maze in Dayton, Ohio, from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. How you doing, Maze?
Hello, James. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I had to come and correct something that the slave got to report.
The slave? Which
Sanders,
slave? Who's the slave?
The one that just finished talking.
You're calling Rick from Hampton, Virginia a slave?
From the point of view of Satan, that's where he's from. But anyway, with Deion Sanders,
you're calling him Satan's slave?
That's what I'm calling that one that just hung up.
Ouch.
Deion Sanders left a HBCU school to go to because he had a team that didn't lose. He brought the team up. So they asked him to come to another place to bring this school up.
Okay.
And they offered him some money, and he took the money and went there. So nobody's upset.
Nobody's
He's
upset?
just doing business just like any other person would do business. And you find a slave like that, like Rick, he don't know. Just like he didn't know that the man was put out the military.
So-
he don't know nothing about that man. He sitting here having a fit about him.
Right. So hold on. Let's not change the subject to Paul Whelan.
Deion, what do you want to say about Deion?
You're saying that Rick made up the notion that
No, I
blacks
didn't
at
say he made it.
Hold on. Let me finish the question. You're saying that Rick made up the notion that blacks are mad at Deion for leaving the black school and going to a so-called white school? He made that up?
He just
Nobody's mad
no,
about
he
it?
didn't make it up. No, that's not what I'm. No, he's mad.
No, you said it.
I'm
Nobody's.
not mad.
No.
'Cause I can't-
No,
I can't
not
speak
you.
for every black
Not you,
person.
not Rick. I'm not talking about you or Rick.
Yes.
He said that blacks are mad, not you necessarily, not you black, not Rick Black, but other blacks are mad at Deion for leaving the black school and going to the white school. Did he
they're
make
not
that up?
mad at Deion because he left the white school and left the black school.
Oh,
they're mad because he
hung
took
up on
some
Rick.
of the players with him to that school. They left the HBCU and went to the school where he went.
HBCU, for those who don't know,
Yes.
means
And,
historic. Hold on.
can I give
Mace,
you?
hold on. I'll let you talk.
Okay.
Just announcing for the people who are ignorant. HBCU
No,
means
slow.
historically black college and university, something like that. Anyway, go ahead.
And as I was saying, they offered him some money, which he was not taking. He took a cut salary for the school that he was in.
Oh.
And went to that school, and he took the players with him, and took the program and all of the things that he was doing with him there for more money. So why would you be mad with Deion for doing that?
No, I wouldn't be mad at him.
Unless you don't understand what
more
Deion
money,
did.
More money to him. That's cool.
So the slaves, because if they would have stayed at the HBCU school, they wouldn't have went over to the Caucasian school, and they would have kept winning. And one day they would have had to meet and play each other.
It's so funny that we're calling it a white school or a Caucasian
and with
school.
Deion coaching,
It's a school.
Yeah, they have those two.
Yeah.
They have those two because, by the way, not only blacks go to that school, so does Caucasians go to that HBCU school too.
Hey,
go to
Big
all of the
Bump-
ones around the
Big
country
Bump-
if you didn't know it or not.
Big Bump
Tell Big Bump
says.
to be quiet. He don't know what he's talking about.
No. It's not about quiet. He quietly texted me.
Mhm.
They are mad. Dr. Umar was livid about the Deion Sanders situation.
Omar Johnson don't speak for nobody but himself. If that's who you're talking about.
A lot
He cares
of
about what
Umar, a lot of
Omar-
people like
a lot of-
Umar, and they probably agree with
Well,
him.
I don't.
I didn't
I'm
say
one that
you
don't
did.
like Omar because he's. Well, why didn't he
Just
go take
because
his
you're
place?
not mad doesn't mean other people aren't mad.
He's mad because he didn't do the same thing Deion did. Maybe they would have took him. So Omar had broke the law himself.
Umar's
so who
not
is he to
nice
speak?
enough.
Deion is not breaking the law. So tell the slave when he called in to know what he's talking about. He don't even know the man was thrown out the military. He don't know. Just arguing because they let that young lady go.
Okay.
Putin is the person. Putin is the person that let them people do what he did, and nobody lost out.
Oh.
And they also said he wasn't born in this country.
Putin was not born
So
in
tell
Russia?
him in his Christian ways to go find the spiritual way and leave the Christian way alone because somebody's confused in that Christian stuff.
Oh,
And Rick is one of them, too.
well,
So tell him to
Interesting.
have a good day. And next time you come on, know what he's talking about.
okay.
But
Well, thank you,
everybody's
Mace.
not mad at Deion. Have a good one, James.
All right, you too. Take care. Oh, man. We're at just a few minutes till. I don't have time to cover that story that I wanted to talk about. I'll have to cover it tomorrow. I don't have time to get to any more callers. William in California wanted to correct the record on Deion Sanders. It'll have to wait. We'll have to hear about it tomorrow, hopefully, man. And the rest of the callers, this has been the Hake Report, guys. Thank you for joining. Let's listen to more Christmas music. This is Sufjan Stevens. I used to read it Sufjan Stevens. Ding Dong from 2003. Hark. Songs for Christmas. Enjoy. See you tomorrow, hopefully.
All the disguises, wandering stars, what she did. All the king's horns, all the king's men, saddled and worn, raise the dead, holy and infant. He came to raise up the dead. Greene to the dead. Nothing is wrong, it's what she did. All the king's horns and king's men. Nothing is wrong, it's what she did. All the king's